Big bag of candy.
Well,
I'm coming tonight. I'm for my sister. She said.
All right, here we go. We are live. Miss Proctor's having computer problems this morning, so bear with us. Hopefully it will not freeze up again. I will be shutting my computer off. I think that maybe I was sharing with Preston that I haven't turned my computer off in like a while. So I'm going to turn it off and hope that that reboots everything. So I have Preston here with me this morning. How are you, Preston?
Good.
Good. Preston, what is for lunch on this day 8 of our rotation?
Sloppy Joe, orange button, corn, broccoli, peach cup, strawberry cup, choice of milk.
All right, sounds like a good lunch. And we have Emma here to tell us about the weather. So Emma, come on over here. And Emma is all dressed up today. She's looking really spiffy. She's got little spiders on her bows. All right, Emma, can you tell everybody at Robinson what's the weather today? I don't know if they can hear you. Say it loud.
It's sunny.
It is sunny. Thank you so much. And you look adorable. You have a great day. And we have Ella here to lead us in the pledge. So please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, Ella. Switch hands.
I pledge allegiance.
There you go. Now, hand over her. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good job. All right. Please join me for a moment of silence. Whew. Thank you. All right. Why don't you jump up because Mr. Perry has a load and I think his fingers might be losing circulation. So let's let him come over here and show everybody what do you have, Mr. Perry?
I've got treats. And guess what the treats are for?
What are they for?
Today's hoedown. Woo!
All right.
That's right. So we are having a hoedown today at 6:30 in Mr. Chase's gym. You all know about it. Just reminding you that today's the day. So if you would like to come, bring your family and friends and be at the school by 6:30. You'll have a great time. And there's candy.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
mercy.
I like candy.
I like candy too. All right. So are you coming tonight? Gonna dance a jig? You don't know. I'll be there. I'm gonna dance a jig. My helper says she's coming.
I'll come walking.
You could walk here? Okay. All right.
Everywhere.
So don't forget, if you're interested in the Rockin' Robins recreation, you need to sign up by November 2nd. Science fair papers, if you're interested, those need to be turned in by this Friday. Student birthdays. It's one of those anomaly days. No student birthdays.
I'm a rabbit.
I'm surprised. All right, Preston. But you do have a staff birthday. So who's our staff birthday today?
Miss Brandon.
Mrs. Brandon. So if you see Mrs. Brandon in the building, make sure you wish her happy birthday. And do you have any shout outs before we read from The Wild Robot?
Dylan. Jackson Snyder.
All right. Any others?
And Daniela.
Okay. So also don't forget that tomorrow is Mismatch Day. You going to dress up for Mismatch Day? You think so? That's kind of easy. Just pull out 2 things out of your drawer and wear them. Doesn't matter if they match. Right? Mismatch. All right. Chapter 39, The First Flight. Bright Bill had spent his entire life by the pond, and he was becoming very curious about what lay beyond his neighborhood. So one day his mother said to him, "Let us go for a walk, and I will show you more water than you can possibly imagine." Roz placed the gosling on her flat shoulder, and the two of them set off across the island. They marched out of the forest, crossed the great meadow, and climbed uphill until they were at the top of the island's western ridge. Before them was a grassy slope that descended all the way to the dark, choppy waves that surrounded the island. "That is a lot of water," said the wide-eyed gosling. "I'm a good swimmer, but I'm not good enough to swim across that pond." "That is not a pond," said the robot. "That is an ocean. I doubt any bird could swim across an ocean." Waves rolled in from the horizon. Seagulls circled above the shore. A steady breeze blew up the slope. Brightbill's yellow fluff had recently changed over to a coat of silky brown feathers, and he spread his feathery wings into the breeze, and then, "Mama, look!" For the briefest of moments, the wind lifted Brightbill off the ground, but he quickly tipped backwards and thumped into the soft grass. "I was flying," he squeaked. "That was not flying," said Roz, looking back at her upside-down son. "Well, I almost was flying. I'm going to try again." "I have observed many birds in flight," said Roz. "Sometimes they flap their wings quickly, and other times they fly without flapping at all. They spread their wings and soar on the wind." "So I was soaring?" "Almost. There, look at that soaring seagull. It seems like she is not doing anything, but if you look closer, you will notice that she is making small adjustments with her wings and tail. I think you should try adjusting your wings in the wind like her." Brightbill hopped onto a rock and opened his wings wide. The wind is pushing me backward." "Change the angle of your wings," said his mother. "Let us see what happens when they slice through the air." Brightbill slowly angled his wings downward. The more he turned them, the less the wind pushed him backward. And just as his wings leveled off, "Mama, look!" he squeaked. As his feet left the ground, "I'm soaring! I'm soaring!" He hovered there for a second, rising a little higher than before, and then he sailed backward into the soft grass again. The gosling kept hopping onto the rock and kept riding the wind and kept tumbling into the grass until he started to find his wings. With each attempt, he floated a little higher and a little longer, and finally, Brightbill really did soar. He lifted high into the air and hung there floating. He turned his wings down and felt himself drop. He wiggled his tail feathers, and felt himself veering back and forth. "I'm a natural," he squeaked. "You are doing very well," said Roz, "but you need to keep practicing." And so they spent the afternoon practicing up on the ridge. Once Brightbill was comfortable soaring, he tried flapping his wings. He flapped high into the air. He flapped in straight lines. He flapped around and around in circles. A big smile appeared on the gosling's face. Clearly, Brightbill was designed to fly. "I'm flying, Mama. I'm really flying." "You are flying," said the robot. "Very good." Brightbill was now a real flyer, but all that flying had worn him out. He lowered himself toward the ground and tumbled into the grass one last time. His landing still needed some work. Roz placed Brightbill on her shoulder and headed back to the nest. "I can't believe I can fly now, Mama," said Brightbill in his sleepy voice. I just wish you could fly with me." And then the gosling's words were replaced by his quiet, steady breathing. Chapter 40, The Ship. Brightbill was a flying fanatic, and his favorite place to fly was on the grassy ridge. The robot and the gosling liked to spend afternoons up there working on their finer points of flying, and it was on one such afternoon that they noticed something mysterious far out at the sea. Brightbill spiraled down to his mother, flopping onto the grass, and pointed to the horizon. "Mama, what is that thing?" Roz's computer brain found the right word. "That is a ship." "What's a ship?" "A ship is a large vessel used for ocean transport." Brightbill's face scrunched up with confusion. "Used by who?" "I do not know." It was the first ship either of them had ever laid eyes on. From that distance, it looked as though it were moving slowly, but it was actually racing through the waves. From the distance, it looked as though it were small, but it was actually one of the largest ships ever built. The robot and the Gosling watched it crawl across the ocean until it finally disappeared to the south. Where had the ship come from? Where was it going? Who was on board? Roz and Brightbill had many questions, but no answers. And we will stop there for today so you can choose to be the kind of leader that you would follow and make it a great day. So long.